Hi everyone, Tuesday night live. I'll just give this live a few seconds to sort of reach you guys. I'm not sure if you guys get notifications. This is why I stay on at the same time and the same days every single week, so we can count on each other, so I can be here for you. You never have to worry if you get notified. If you want to participate in a live, if you're part of the 60-day challenge, I'm here for you. Thank you for joining. Thank you for making the time to focus on yourself, to learn about mindset and manifestation and energy work, and how important it is to acknowledge your energy body in addition to your actual body, and to take care of yourself holistically. Hi guys. Just want to give everybody about a minute. I usually do before I dive into the material. So if anybody has seen the door already, let me know. If you guys don't know, we're doing, whoever's in my group is doing a 60-day challenge on manifestation and mindset, and is working with the group energy. We have weekly manifestations, and this week's manifestation is a door. It's been very, very detailed. I've been very detailed on what this door is, so I won't repeat in yesterday's live. And I'm just curious if anybody saw it yet. I didn't see anyone posting about it on Facebook. There has been some posts on Facebook today, but none of them about the door. So nobody yet. Okay, not from the 27 people who are on this live so far. No problem, it's coming. The door is important. It's an important group manifestation because we're energetically heading into a new season. It's a new season for us all in terms of group energy. It's been elevated. I can tell this based on the Facebook testimonials. Also in a new season going from summer to fall. So that's great. Hi guys. Okay, so we're going to start. A few people have restarted their 60-day challenge this week, and this is fine. I've restarted mine last week. The challenge that you, if you do it for 60 days, some people just choose to continue to do it, but some people like to restart it and refreshen their goals. If you worked on it months ago, then obviously if you want to reset your goals, some of those goals probably came to pass. And if you want to reset them and refresh yourself, start fresh, remember, at any point in time, if your path and if your focus has been on growth, self-development, cleansing your energy, energy growth, growing as a spiritual person, then it stands to reason that every day you are different than the day before. And if every day you're different or better than the day before, you learn something, you gain more wisdom, then when you start the challenge of manifesting, you start from a different point every day. This is why I say your entries have to be the day of. You can't pre-populate your entries in advance. So if you want to restart it, if you feel like the person from 2 weeks ago is a weaker person than the person that you are today, and today you'd be starting from a different energetic point of strength, then go ahead and do that. The Facebook group is very active. If you want to be part of the Facebook group, I suggest if you're doing the challenge, be part of the Facebook group for the two months that you're doing the challenge. It's very inspiring when you see the other queens in the group, and we have some guys too. When you see everyone manifesting and old manifestations coming up for everybody, which I didn't anticipate that. I didn't know that new people will be joining, will be manifesting all the past ones, but that's proof of our group energy, which I knew was real. Tomorrow we are fasting. So for those who chose to join me for the two previous fasts, so we fasted every Wednesday in August, last three weeks of August. We did a fast 2 weeks ago. We did a fast last Wednesday, and we're doing the last fast tomorrow. Tomorrow's a water fast. I posted maybe an hour ago the exact instructions for tomorrow on how to speak to the water, what to do. It's a water only fast, and the meditation that we're holding at 8 p.m. And I know we have quite a few people in for the water fast. Try to challenge yourself to last and pay attention to everything that comes up when you do. because a lot of stuff is going to come up. Your mind will immediately tell you to give up, right? Your mind will tell you this is not so important. You don't need, it doesn't matter if you just have a juice, just have a small piece of bread. Why are you doing this? Why are you putting the body through this stressor? Why are you, do you know what I mean? So your mind is constantly talking. When your mind will be talking to you about all of these things, what you have to do is understand, observe and understand that every time you're trying to manifest something specific in your life, your mind is doing the same thing. So when you're trying to manifest a successful business, a marriage, a bigger house, a lottery win, your mind is telling you, in this case, probably subconsciously, okay, no, that is not safe. You're safe here. Why are you putting yourself through that? Why are you doing this work on yourself? Why are you trying to change a situation that is now working? It's working, it's safe, it's good here. Your physical body is in safety. Don't do that. So just know that the same way your mind is talking to you, remember, you're not your mind is talking to you. The same way your mind is talking to you about how you shouldn't be fasting, you shouldn't be doing this. It's the same. It's the reason why you're not able to manifest, right? This way you have a chance to sort of observe it and see, you know, like you thinking, oh, I'll challenge my mind to manifest. Well, can you even challenge your mind to not touch that bread? That's all. That's sort of the philosophical concept behind a fast. I'm not doing it for health reasons. I'm not doing it. I'm not a person who likes denying myself things that I like, but once in a while I like to check in with myself and say, yeah, I'm still in charge. It's still me who's in charge, me, the spirit. It's going to do whatever I want it to do, you know, it, the mind, the body. And you know, I'm glad to see a few of you queens are in the same spot, and you can you do the same thing. No tea, no nothing, just water, because we're imbuing the water with intention. I know I have like 3 coffees a day, so it's not gonna be, probably it's not gonna be pleasant for the body. Thanks, Queen. It's not gonna be pleasant for the body, but that's the whole point. Can you stand a day where you don't please the body? And can you stand a day when you don't give in to the same mental habits that you have? It will be just as difficult not to give in to the mental habits as it is to not eat, or maybe even more difficult. Here's what I want you to contemplate tomorrow when you're doing the fast, or even if you're not doing the fast, in a moment of meditation and contemplation. Contemplate the difference between the you that has your manifestation and the you are today. And I don't mean just like, oh, she lives in a better house, she lives in Spain, she has a wedding ring on her finger. I don't just mean that. Contemplate her. Contemplate her behavior. Contemplate her emotional state. Contemplate the peace or the noise that's inside of her. Contemplate the way she looks physically, definitely. Contemplate all of this about her, not just what you added to her life, also what's been removed from her life, also the feelings that she has inside of her throughout the day-to-day life. Contemplate her into existence. This is how true manifestation work is done, and true self-identity change is done. It's only done through this work. What I also wanted to talk about before we dive in, I have scammers, guys. I say this on every live. If you get a message from me, it's not from me. Unless you contact me, I'll never message anybody or offer anything, any products to anybody. So check the account, make sure you're on the right account. I know there's people who've stolen my videos and started accounts with the same picture. Be careful. Okay, and the door challenge, don't forget, this week you will see the door. That's for my group, the group who's doing the challenge and who's part of the Facebook group. We will see this door together. And you know what to do when you see it, because I described it on yesterday's live. If you don't know, go watch the live. All my lives are posted. We had a few people start the challenge this week. So I just want to say, guys, all of my lives are It's not really repeat information. It's important that you go through them if you're doing this challenge of the 60 days to imbue yourself with the group energy and everything. Can you explain about think and feel to attract? Today I'm talking about energy and energy cleansing. If I have the time, ask me that again at the end. And I did a video on your energetic body, and in this video I got quite a few questions, but in the video I was saying there's this energy. The way we have the physical body, we have the energetic body. And I'm assuming these are concepts everybody who's in manifestation work sort of already understands, but I'm noticing more and more that it's not the case. So I need to sort of step back to the basics. So the physical body has an energetic scaffolding. This is how you have to imagine it. And some people tell you it's projected 6 feet from your heart all around you, but it's easier to imagine it as a scaffolding, like the scaffolding of a building when you're building a building. So as you're working on different parts of this building, you just work to make sure the scaffolding is strong and in place, and it's there to support it. It has no gaps or holes, so no accidents can happen. And then B, you move the scaffolding around the building as you're trying to work on different parts of the building. So this is the easiest way to reshape the body with your energetic scaffolding, right? So let's say you're working on physical appearances and changes and reshaping your tummy, reshaping your butt. All of this is done with physical activity, as well as much easier with the movement of the energetic scaffolding. So what I was saying is, in this scaffolding, okay, all this energetic shield is information. And there is a shield that is pure that every human is born with. But the moment, and they say now even before the baby is born, right, because it's absorbing from the mother's energy. The way the scaffolding is and this energetic body is, it contains residue of a lot of the experiences that we've gone through. Any experience that has produced a feeling inside of us, whether it was a positive feeling or a negative feeling, whatever we've experienced, whatever information has stayed with us and has sort of shaped us, and we processed it. Because sometimes you can see information, you don't process it, you don't assimilate it, right? But the information that you processed, and how do you process information? Through feeling. The way you process your information through feeling, that information, unless you've taken steps to clarify your energetic field, it's still residing in there. So many times, because the information that we process is negative in many of the cases, and in today's world, and in the fact that a lot of people are going through a lot of relationships and a lot of experiences that sort of mark them, a lot of trauma, emotional trauma. Because of that, there's a lot of residue, impurities in your energetic field. And right now, you can come to manifestation work and have this intention and say, I want to manifest, I'm ready for, my husband, or a real relationship, or success, right? But the problem is, the moment you ask, sorry, that's not what the problem is. The moment you ask, I'm making a parenthesis, the moment you ask, it is answered. This is the law of the universe, and it is always answered. Every single teacher will tell you the same thing, and this is in the writings of all the religious texts, from the Bible to the even earlier Upanishads, and all of the teachings are telling you that intelligence responds to you right away. But because you have residue, the way it responds with information that's supposed to penetrate your energetic field. And because your energetic field has these impurities and it's not clear, it's like swimming in a dirty pool. Because of this, what happens is the information doesn't go through, or if it goes through, your energetic scaffolding can't process this information enough to enter your mind and to instruct you on the how, to give you inspired action, to give you the next steps on what you're supposed to do. And everybody who successfully manifested something is always telling you that there was something unusual about the series of events that happen in their life in order to bring forward a significant change, right? Oprah talks about this. A lot of people talk about this, right? But for that inspired action to, again, once you asked, it is given. So once you've asked to be, I don't know, successful actress, that information is granted to you on what steps you need to take to get there based on your life, your circumstance, your current circumstance, right? Because the information can't penetrate, you can't take inspired action. If the information can penetrate, something will happen. Let me sort of turn this down. Something will happen in your life where, you know, it's something that's out of the ordinary and you must follow that. I've had people testimony to me that they've had an email that was sent to them by accident, and that email contained vital information about, in this case, the one I got was about business, that they followed. The email wasn't even for them, but they followed that and they got to where they needed to be. People who ran into old acquaintances on the street, and that acquaintance had the solution to their problem that they were facing then. People who, all sorts of stories around unusual events. So in order for the circumstances and events to happen, these are all energetic connections that click with your desire, if your desire has purity, if it's to the highest benefit of all, and if your field allows for it. Okay? So, it's just a funny question. Why do you hide your spouse on Instagram? I love that. I was waiting for one person to ask about him, because I was like, you know what? I never actually, you know, I keep my personal life private, except when I talked about the SP, and because that's educational for you guys. And I was waiting for somebody to say, did you buy your own ring? Like, does he actually exists? That's funny. So my spouse is he doesn't, he's in banking, he's a private individual, and we don't really, like, I'm super, like, I'm a private person. Let me just turn this off and decline, but he does exist. Where was I? I just thought it was funny. Sorry, I interrupted the live for that, but I just thought it was funny. All right. So the energy needs to be cleansed. Okay. The energetic body needs to be cleansed of everything that's happened to you in the past, and everything that has a residual energy around your body. So somebody asked me, how do we cleanse it? Right? Which is a great question. You might be aware that you have this residual energy in your body. You might even sense it and feel it. And it's generally based on a feeling of being stuck. A lot of people feel stuck because there's so many blockages in our energetic body. By the way, humans didn't always have these, right? It's just that life has become so complex and we interact with so many people that in the moment we interact with people, because we're not taught to prevent this energy accumulation from others. Because we interact with so many people, almost everybody that comes into contact with us leaves a sort of residue, especially if the interaction is negative. And now when you go online and you read something you don't like to see, it doesn't agree with your views, it produces a reaction inside of you. And I want to tell you guys that even a stranger right now on the internet with a different view, when you read it, it can destabilize the balance and the focus that you're trying to create in your personal life. I want you guys to become very, very conscious of the interactions you have, the things you read, the things you watch, the movies that you see, and generally who you engage with, especially strangers who don't matter to your life. Okay. And what I want you guys to understand is that before you go ahead and cleanse your energy, there's a time where you have to prevent any further accumulation, because there's no point to start cleansing from the past if you're still allowing everything that's coming on a day-to-day basis, right? You're kind of swimming against the current there. So here's what you have to do. In order to prevent any new negative residue to accumulate in your energy system, you have to be constantly aware of who affects you in which way. As you go through the day, take a day, take 2 days, and say over the next 3 days, I'm going to pay very close attention of what can change my good state. It is good to start in a good state. So let's say you've had a great day of manifestation, a great meditation, pleasant conversations, and now you've set that as your status quo point. Just say, this is my status quo point. And I am going to just go out there and see who rattles me. See who can change the state inside of me. Is it, let me just, I don't know, my moderator is not online yet. I don't appreciate when people interrupt me like this. So unfortunately I had to block this person. Where was I? You're walking around and you're interacting with people. And many of the times we're not taught to be like, whatever happens should have really no impact on me, unless, it's your physical safety or what have you. But the way a person looks at you in a certain way should have no impact on you. The way, if somebody's rude, if somebody, we're taught to react. We're taught to fight back. We're taught to be on the defensive. We're taught to have an opinion about everything. We're taught all these things because the world is trying to take us out of that feeling of peace and state, that's a state of harmony from where we can actually manifest. So you cannot manifest when you're in a constant back and forth inside of you. There's so much noise inside of you, right? I'm doing my 1 hour meditation, then I'm stepping on the street, somebody cuts me off in traffic and I react. I go to the barista, she's too busy, she ignores me, and she gives me my coffee late, and now I'm reacting. Somebody looks at me the wrong way. I get a text message and, or I don't get a text message, and I'm like, what's taking this person so long for, all of a sudden, there's no point in doing meditations and work and fasting and all of this if you're not going to pay attention and stay aware on what in 3D creates that reaction. You need to prevent any new emotional residue from coming into your system. So just decide, I am here in the state of peace and harmony. Pick a good moment. And from that moment on, just say, I will work on cleansing all the old residue, all the old energy from around my body. And while I'm doing this, I will not permit anything new, right? Somebody says, I take comments if they pertain to what I'm saying. I get triggered by people complaining about relationships on TikTok. Remember, your feed on TikTok is actually very much reflected on what you are focused on. I get no feed on people complaining about their relationships on TikTok, and I do watch TikTok. I don't just produce, I watch as well. My feed is perfect. I find TikTok's algorithm extremely good in terms of reflecting exactly my interests. And if you spend, 2 weeks on it, giving it feedback, it's the same as instructing 3D reality. Just give it constant feedback on what you want. It will no longer show you what you don't want, right? So when you focus on what you want, what you don't want will simply fall away. And that is true of the TikTok algorithm, and it's true of life as well. Let's go back to energy cleansing. The most immediate way to start to cleanse your energy, to start to purify this water, that you're swimming in, okay, if you want an analogy, and it's actually your energetic field. In order for anything good to come, to have the space to penetrate it and sit in it, the first thing you should do is you should move. I have too many people that I talk to that are saying, well, I rarely leave my house. I rarely leave my apartment. I rarely, I haven't been doing much, been sitting at home. I've been gaining weight. I don't really move my body. That's the first question I ask. How often? What is your daily routine? How often do you work out? How often do you don't have to work out, by the way, but you have to move your body. You have to stretch. You have to physically do things. You can't be sedentary and expect your energy to cleanse, to be moved, right? Because when you're moving your energetic body, it goes to follow that all the scaffolding also moves with it. And depending on the movements that you do and the care that you take, your energetic body will have a response to that. So a lot of the things when you're moving your body, this is why they say doing a sport is so good for your health. Yeah, it's good for your heart and your health, but it's also good for this release. There's a release when you're doing a physical activity. You have to move your body. You can't get around the moving of the body. The second thing that I think is extremely important in energy cleansing is for you to start speaking the truth. Okay. And so many of us don't in all aspects of our lives. Okay. This chakra is blocked for most people, especially women. So what's come to be is that we're in situations where we accept way less or way different than what our true nature, what our soul tells us it's for us, right? So whether or not, let's say one of the situations would be you can't be with the guy that you actually love. So you're starting to date other people before you are ready, right? All of a sudden that's going against your truth. Or you are with a guy you love, but you're accepting behaviors out of him that you know aren't good for you. And you know they hurt you. And the reason you're accepting that is because of fear, right? You fear that if you don't, he will leave you and you will have way less. I am telling you, if you don't speak your truth, this constant going against what your true nature wants to express will lead you to a bad place and could lead to physical illness. This stacking up and storing of all the things unsaid, it's a big issue for energy blockage, for bringing in anything new. It can't come because you're not speaking your truth about your day to day. How can you speak other things into existence? It's just, you're not going to be able to, right? The third thing you should do is you should constantly check yourself as to how you identify yourself in regards to the traumas of the past, right? So anything, we all had pains in our lives. We all had heartbreaks at some point. Somebody in our family died. We all had all of these happenings. How do you identify yourself in relation to that? Are you a victim? Is that something that happened to you? What kind of weight do you carry based on that moment? Have you been able to process that information, or have you put it away and not processed it because it hurts, right? Every time you think of it, it hurts. With every emotion that we have, what's supposed to do is it's supposed to come to us, change something in our energetic field, right? Because pain and love is how consciousness evolves. Pain and love comes into our consciousness field and it changes something. It's supposed to write information that we require for our wisdom, for the evolution of our consciousness. It's not supposed to stay there unprocessed because you are not able to do it, you refuse to do it, it's too painful, it's too traumatic. Whatever has happened to you in the past, you have to understand that yes, you can do revisions and all sorts of techniques to remember it differently, but you have to see it as something that you have to assimilate in you and not put it aside. Okay? Anything that's aside, imagine it that it's right here and it's standing in between you and your manifestation, because it's standing in between allowing new information to come in. How can a source give you new information to process in the form of your desires when you haven't processed what's given you already? Now pay attention. It doesn't know, oh, this is painful for you, right? I told you the formless substance is neutral. And because the formless substance is neutral, the information, whether it's pain or love, it's not saying, oh, she's not processing this because this is too painful for her. I will give her something better to balance it out. It doesn't work that way. It gives you something new when you get rid of the old. Okay, that's sort of the third step. Check yourself and see what's been unprocessed, and just acknowledge it, and just decide, I'm going to process this because I want to dissolve it from my energetic body. I want this part of my energetic body to be cleared, and I want to make room. Have this intention. I want to make room, especially if you're doing the fast tomorrow, right? It's a good way to set intention. In this intention, when I'm cleansing my body and I'm cleansing my energy system, I have the intention of new to come in. New. I'm making space. I'm making physical space in the energetic body, if that makes sense. Like, I'm actually making space in the energetic body, and I'm getting rid of all this debris that's just circulating there and sitting there and stale. That's how you have to think of it. The fourth thing you can do, I wrote these things down for you guys, is if you have a religious practice, and if you don't, that's okay as well. Remember, the structure that I teach, the structure that I've always talked about, is the creator, the formless substance, and us. And we access the formless substance anytime we want. This is not a creator that needs praise. It's not a punisher. It's just a creator. For what purpose he created this game, this simulation, whatever you want to call it, this reality. Some religions will tell you it's because he loved us and he created us. And, the opposite of that is that, this is just a sadistic game. It doesn't really matter. The purpose, you'll never understand the mind of the creator. So don't bother contemplating that. But what you can do in your prayer, a prayer is access to the formless substance, is saying, I know this is created for me to access. It's because it's proven, right? It's proven on the small things. And this is how I teach manifestation, on the small things. So you can convince yourself that it works. So when you're praying, you don't necessarily think of this old man in the sky if that doesn't fit your beliefs. If that fits your beliefs, that's fine, because you're limited by your own imagination in terms of who or what God is or the creator is. You can definitely pray and ask and say, I want to be released from my past, and I forgive everybody from my past. Every religion teaches you that forgiveness is key. Forgiveness is key because it's a way of releasing the debris from your energetic body, from the energetic scaffolding. When you're holding that perpetrator, you're holding that person who victimized you, you're holding space for that trauma. And you're holding, with your forgiveness, you're no longer holding, you're releasing, right? This information, I'm so glad somebody asked this question, because this information right now is just pouring through me, which means there's a lot of people on this live that need to hear this, right? You guys need to hear this. I know, I feel like super in the flow talking about this. So when you pray, make sure you ask for the right thing first. Okay. Give me the strength to forgive. Give me the strength to let go. I'm making space for myself to the highest benefit of all. I'm making space for myself, for I want to remove everyone I hold negative feelings for. I don't want to hold these negative feelings. Help me not to hold them anymore. I don't want to have them. I want to get rid of them. This is sort of the most effective and most honest prayer when you really want to release yourself from it. And then sort of the fifth element of cleansing your energy system is to make a decision that you want to support life. You want to support life in all its aspects. You don't want to harm life, right? And I'm not talking, don't eat meat. I eat meat, right? But I'm not purposely going out there and, hurting any living thing. If I can support it, I do support it, right? If I see a squirrel crossing the street, I slow down. I don't just go at any speed, irrespective of what happens around me. If you have a pet, an animals around you, feed them. Be kind to life. Give $5 to a beggar. Support life. Support the growth of others. Okay? Just be in that state where you want others to progress and to find their purpose. And if you can help, you must help. Think of it that way. If I can help, like I'm not necessarily going to make my life all about others, but if somebody asks me for something specific and I can help, I always help. And this is sort of the attitude towards life. By the way, nothing will probably come back from any of the people you help. You know, in my corporate career, I helped like at least 20 people get jobs. I never got anything from them, but life has supported me in my own career in different ways. I really, do you see what I'm saying? Like, don't expect, oh, I helped that person, without me, he wouldn't be where he is now. Maybe this is true, but the return to you will not be from the same person or necessarily even in the same avenue. When life is starting to work out for you and you know you've helped some people, don't worry about them. Don't expect a return on that help. Again, you know, I'm not saying go out of your way and find a person for whom, no, it will be presented to you. When it is, just help. I want to know if you guys have any questions about this energy cleansing that we talked about before I read a couple of questions from that I got between yesterday and now. Do you have any questions? Everybody has energetic residue in their emotional body. So everybody should really pay attention to these 5 steps that I discussed. Number 1, move your physical body. Number 2, speak your truth. Do not accept things that you know go against what you really feel. And dare to ask for what you want and be prepared for any outcome as you are asking. Okay, like in a relationship, dare to ask for what it is you need. If you don't get it, that's okay. Somebody will fulfill that need for you. You must have this faith of faith. Okay, number 3, check yourself. Number 4, forgive. Prayer if you want, but the prayer's point is to forgive. And then number 5 is to support life. Those are the notes that came to me to tell you about how to cleanse your energetic body. And by the way, you have to scan your energetic body all the time. It's the same as when you come home at the end of the day and you take a shower and you use soap and water and you cleanse the residues of the day. You cleanse your energetic body the same way. Because I guarantee you, today you interacted with somebody who looked at you the wrong way. You interacted with somebody who annoyed you, and you interacted perhaps with somebody who didn't want something good for you, who may have wanted something bad for you. And if you weren't aware in that second, and we can't be aware in every second. I'm teaching awareness, but the reality is we can't be aware in every second. At the end of the day, you need to check yourself. Did anybody leave any dirt on me, any residue on me, any negative feeling inside of me today? And who is that person? Is that person important to me? Is that person somebody online that I could just block? Is that person, you know, somebody I don't need to give my attention to? Is that person a political candidate I hate, or I'm cultivating my hate towards? Who is that person in my life? Can they support my growth, or should I remove my attention for them? It's hard being present, somebody says. Yes. Daily cleansing has changed my life. That's amazing. That's where it's at. Before you can put on your new clothes and your perfume and make sure you don't stink, right? Like that's a basic body 101. So it's the same with before you manifest that spouse and that big house and that job, you know, make sure, you know, your energetic system is not too polluted to support that new spouse, right? What we tend to do is even when we meet good people, guys, we tend to expect that they would know what wounds we have inside of us and that they would heal our wounds without us even telling them what those wounds are. You know, it's this debris that's circulating in our energetic system. Oh, but if he was the right man, he would know exactly what to say at the exact time, and he would give me this medication that I need for my wound. And it doesn't work like that, does it? You can lose a good person because you don't speak your truth, because your energetic field is full of debris from the other relationships you've had that hurt you because you're not speaking, you're not communicating, right? There's an energetic hygiene as much as there is a physical hygiene. Somebody says, how do I detach from SP? Should I stop affirming for them? This reminds me of another question that I got. Let me just look at it. I have I think I saved about 3 or 4 questions that I want to address. And I think this was similar. Yeah, she's saying, I did a video today. It's called Letting Go of the SP. And this queen was asking me, how do you know you have successfully let go of somebody? Can you please explain? So, and this is a similar question. How do I detach from my SP? Should I stop affirming for them? The way you detach from your SP is, number one, is you bring the focus back on yourself and on what it is you want from your SP. Okay? So let's say I want a man for marriage. So my focus is on my life as a married woman. What is it about that life that's appealing to me? And I am going to sit and contemplate and make a list about how this married life makes me feel. Am I supported, provided for, prioritized, held, loved, physically caressed, socially acceptable now that I can bring a man to a party? Whatever that meaning has for you, okay? This is where you're staying. And this contemplation of the ultimate goal you have for your SP is where you're staying. By the way, that goal could be something very trivial. Like, I want my SP because he's a rich man and he can take me to Italy 3 times a year. Okay? In that case, you only stay in the contemplation of you being in Italy 3-4 times a year or as often as possible. So it doesn't have to be, I'm not saying it has to be marriage, but you detach from your SP by staying in the ultimate goal that this person would fulfill in your life. Like, what is that? What is that feeling that you have every day? And as you're doing this, he sort of falls away and you become aware. Of course, don't have any contact with him. Definitely don't have physical contact with him, obviously. Do not observe his life without you. Do not check him out on the internet. Do not set in place the reality that he's with somebody else. You shouldn't know if your SP is with somebody else or not, by the way. It shouldn't be in your awareness. And as you're staying focused on you, you will notice that there's probably going to be more than one man that can fulfill that role. And more than one will come to the table once you've cleansed your energy and you've set this intention, right? Because again, as you ask, it is fulfilled right away. If it's not fulfilled right away, there's a blockage in your energetic system. Assume that every single thing you ask for is fulfilled right away, unless there's an issue with you that you have to cleanse. This is why in my group, I give these little manifestations, because some people get them the same day, within 2 days, immediately. And some people, they get them after 6 weeks of this work, after 2 months now of this work. People are saying, oh, I just manifested X now that we talked about. I was trying all this time and then I kind of forgot about it and then I got it. Right? So it has to do, like, I'm proving that this is how it is, that it's just as easy to manifest, I don't know, someone wearing a red shoes in your experience than it is to manifest $10,000. It's sort of the same thing. In regards to this question that I read from my other phone, the queen is asking, how do I know I let go of somebody? Your focus is not on them, not on their life, not on them returning, not on your future with them, okay? A relationship that you've let go of no longer consumes you. That person no longer has the power to provoke an emotion inside of you. This is a true letting go, okay? This is a true letting go of the SP, of the desire. By the way, only when you do that, they'll actually show up in this new version. Now, if you don't do that, they might show up again to take more from you. To take more from you, right? So don't say, oh, I manifested him 5 times, but every time he's left me again. You didn't manifest this new version, right? Because you weren't focused on a good outcome and your highest good. You're just manifesting on him coming back. And he'll come back again and again, and he'll take more until you learn this lesson. or you'll manifest them in another person who will do the same thing, because you're not focused on your highest good. You're focused on this random people who are honestly not even that special. Let's see what I have here. Are we okay with the SB? I feel like we talked so much about the SB. Somebody loves the challenge. Okay, that's great. How do I stop affirming? We talked about this. Okay, perfect. Let's see the other thing I wanted to talk about. This was a lot of material in today's live, okay? And the energy cleansing was important, so I just want to make sure everybody got it. Somebody sent me a question, because if you guys don't know me, my work is very much inspired from Dr. Joe Dispenza. I am a follower of his for years, and I've gone to one of his in-person 1 week seminars last year, and I did it right. Like, I did it where I was fully present, no contact with the outside world, and all of that. And I'm an experiencer of things. So somebody's asking me, Hamona, do you know what Dr. Joe Dispenza means by, can you feel the space beyond your, whatever he says, different body parts? Can you feel your space beyond your head in space, let's say? So he says this phrase very often, right? It's the feeling of space. And they're asking, what does this sentence even mean? If you are new to this work, do not start with Dr. Joe Dispenza's meditations. You can start by watching all of his content and trying to internalize having an intellectual understanding of what he's saying. But his meditations are some of the hardest meditations that I've done. Don't think I've done harder meditations, except one time when I was trying to do remote viewing, and that was really hard, and it took a lot out of me. I never attempted it again. And then I realized I don't actually need to remote view. But that was a hard meditation. Dr. Joe Dispenza would be like the level right under that in terms of how hard it is. And here's the thing. When he talks about the space between the space and beyond the space, what you have to start the meditations, if you decide to do his meditations, is the outline of your body, of your physical body. And I think he teaches this as well. So you actually have to start, you can start with a different part of your body, like let's say the pit of your stomach, and sort of expand outwards. You just think of different body parts, but there has to be a point where you come to the outline of your body. And once you sense like 1 millimeter around the outline of your body, but the whole body, not just here, right? Like all around your body. From that moment, you expand outward. You expand outward slowly, first in the room, right? So your consciousness is actually departing from your body, and it's departing from this awareness of the body. And some people can just do this and then they come right back, right? That's why I'm saying his meditations are hard. It's not like you close your eyes and you go to these different worlds and you have magical experience. No, it doesn't work like this, right? So for you to detach your consciousness and start to sense the space in the room and start to sense the space in the air in the room, this is a lot of work. These are not meditations you can fall asleep to. And his voice is very, he does a certain voice in his meditation, if you guys know what I'm talking about. Like he would like almost sound like robotic and just very, because you need to really detach from the person of him talking, right? He wants you to focus on different things. And as you're expanding your awareness and you're feeling the space, and you will, at some point, you will pop, but you will not pop in your first meditation, right? So when I was doing this, it's taken me a really long time to even depart to a few meters from my body and keep my awareness there, right? Like you may be able to do it right away, but then you'll go back in. You'll go back in pretty quickly. For you to stay here, like to stay here and to just sense the space outside your body, this will really, really hard, right? Oh, you tried the changing boxes today, the voice? Yeah. So the idea is you have to stay in the space for a while, right? It's not enough to just sense the space and go back, sense the space and go back. The training is to just become the space. It's not easy. Okay. And then eventually, okay, you see the infinite space. And he does this in changing boxes, for example, in this meditation. He does this in blackness. Okay. Because the blackness is actually easier to feel than the light, right? It's easier because it's like, it's for some reason there's more space, when light is like something more focused, more blinding, more towards you and your body. But when you're sensing the blackness of the infinite, it's really like a different kind of experience. And in one of this experience, I actually taken from my expansion, I actually popped into a really big black space. It was like an infinite box, like looking in mirrors in an infinite space. And in that second, when I popped, like this is very difficult to explain, right? But what flashed to me is exact scenes, but not scenes that I've imagined, new scenes of my intentions for my own life. These are like newly created scenes. It wasn't, oh, I envisioned, my wedding day or something like this. It wasn't like that. So when you can have some incredible experiences, right? Now, this didn't last for very long, right? Because it's pretty scary to be in this place. So once your awareness reaches in a place that's unfamiliar, it immediately wants to go back to self. This is why I told you, your mind just wants to keep status quo. Safety first, right? Like it's asking, where are you? And can you come back? And the moment you think, can I come back to my body? You're back in the body. Like it's just boom. And now you're like, damn it, I gotta start it all over again. These meditations are long. They're over an hour. So that's the answer that I wanted to give when he means the space within the space. You won't get there in the first week. You won't, like a guaranteed, but it's worthwhile if you're on this path. You just gotta start with what's suitable for you and your energetic system at this current moment in time. This is the beauty of spiritual evolution. You can't skip steps, right? When you have a guy and he's the CEO of some big company and you're asking, he's a fraud. You're like, he didn't get there on merit. He didn't do what he was supposed to do. He just, his daddy was in charge, or, I don't know, somehow he got to be there. You can never say that about a person who's able to do certain things spiritually, because they will not be granted access to be able to do those things and have those experiences unless they've taken it step by step and they've actually evolved. And because it doesn't mean that person will never make mistakes, but it means they have processed the information of the lessons that have been given to them. A lot of people are given lesson after lesson after lesson, same lesson. They never process that information, right? If I'm talking too metaphysical, let me know, because I see some of this comments are just about how to manifest money and weight. Can we choose and manifest our weight, and how do we have to think in order to achieve it? I have a playlist in my bio that says manifest body. I've set my weight to a specific weight just to know it's my manifestation, and I've been able to stay there. But you have to watch my content. It's not something I can answer in one sentence. In order to, the other person says, how do you manifest money? What affirmations I want to dedicate my life to? Watch Manifest Money in my playlist. You need to change your concept about what money is, and stay focused in the lifestyle that you want, irrespective of how much money you make. Carla doesn't want more love lessons. Working hard to avoid those. I want you to do the energy cleansing. And I don't know who it was, but I've seen a comment of somebody saying, do the video on the energetic cleanse. I will do that because I think that's going to be useful to people. I think I had like one more little one that I wanted to read. Let's see. Oh yeah. Somebody says, I have not started. She purchased the 60-day challenge in my bio, but she said, I have not started it yet. My limiting belief is that it won't happen for me. Like whatever she puts in, it won't happen for her. I will get close and it will be taken from me and it will never happen for me. And she's theorizing that this is because life has kicked her and knocked her down a few times. It happened to most people. It is good to recognize that this limiting belief will be in the awareness of most people. And we are at a point where we're so discouraged as individuals, like the majority of the individuals, that they can't look at this work and think it could be so simple. But it is that simple. This work will definitely produce results. It's that simple. You have to cleanse your energetic system. You have to decide differently, and you have to hold space for this awareness on a daily basis. Whether it's love, money, your body, your health, career, it's all the same. You have to cleanse, put new information in, decide. Keep consistency in your decision, keep consistency in your work. Okay, this is how simple it is. Yes, you can change everything based on the energy. Everything in your life will change. You don't have to change. You don't have to worry about how you're going to get to that house, how are you going to get married next year. You don't have. It will all happen if you do this. Now, most people's top limiting belief will be exactly what this queen is saying. They will say, this is not going to work. Immediately upon starting, it's not going to work. And my approach to this is why I start my group, with group manifestation that have nothing to do with their lives. Prove it to you in prove it to yourself in small steps, right? Now I'm an experience. I've been a manifester since I was a child. I know this is how it works. I've had some incredible stories. Some of them I've shared. And I know this is exactly how life works. But for somebody who's not an experience, who's disconnected from source, who's been told many lies about the way the world works, the dinosaur mentality, this is how money doesn't grow on trees. You have to go to work 9 to 5. Men only love women who are, slim, who are, you have to make your own way in life. Nobody's going to help you. You can only rely on yourself. You can't trust anybody. Okay, anybody who's grown up with this kind of messages is going to take a lot more time for them to process. So when you look, the reason I have this Facebook group is when you look at somebody and they're able to manifest something, do not be like, how come it happened for them? It didn't happen for me. Look at them and say, it's possible for them, and so it's possible for me. Right? And what is it that I need to eliminate? The first thought, it should be, what is the residue that is here that's preventing this new information to come my way? Right? What is the residue? And stay there. Just want to make sure, because we're out of time here, so I just want to make sure there's no more questions. I want your stories on the door. Remember my group, whoever's part of the Facebook group who wants to fast tomorrow. It's our fast to start the fall season. It's water only. We're imbuing it with intention. I put the full meditation that we're doing together as a group at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You have to recite certain things, certain words, connect to the group, amplify the group energy, and from there we're projecting our desires. All of that is on the Facebook group. I want to make sure there's no other questions. Tomorrow, I will log on, make sure everything on Facebook is right. But I will take the day mostly for meditation, contemplation, because I'm doing the fast, right? Analyzing my own energetic body, analyzing, and so try to do the same thing. Try to apply these practices. I will post this live tonight, so I don't, as soon as TikTok allows me to download it, I will post this live, and then then I'll sort of be probably not interacting with too many people tomorrow unless it's on the Facebook group about the fast. Take the day to yourself if you can, and we'll reconnect again. I'm back again on the live Thursday at 7 p.m. If you want to do the 60-day challenge, it's benefited a lot of people. It's in my bio. Am I a member of Dr. Joe's Live? No, I'm not a member of it, but I will do one of his seminars again soon for the esoteric experiences that he can provide. By the way, you should really check out his work. Again, I'm not affiliated with him in any way. Put your hands together and let's do the 369. I am a winner. 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 I am a winner.